welcome or welcome back to my channel, you guys. My name is Darlene and today I am going to be talking about the iPad Pro with the M1 chip. Is it worth it? Who I think it is and isn't for? All that good stuff. But before I begin, I just want to put a disclaimer out there that I am not a tech expert, so I won't be going too in-depth into things like benchmarks and stuff like that. And a lot of the things that I know are from obsessing about what Apple's going to release, when they're going to release it, since January. So this review is from an average user's perspective, and if you haven't got one yet and are considering getting one, then please keep on watching this video where I will hopefully help you with your decision making. And with that being said, my left hand is hurting from holding this heavy iPad, so let's get into the video. I have the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, so it's got the Liquid Retina XDR display, and I obviously got it in space gray with 256 gigabytes of storage. And I've had it for, as the title would suggest, 1 month. I use it to create graphics on my videos and to doodle on my thumbnails and to brain dump whenever I have a lot of ideas or I'm planning things. And I currently play a lot of games on it, especially Apple Arcade games. They're so much fun.
Led down into the wild and mysterious.
I'm sorry.
The rocket drill itself must have snapped in half somewhere below Kamchatka. And little Orpheus bounced out.
And I love that I don't have to keep skipping ads. I also sometimes stream movies or shows. I use Notion on it a lot when I'm planning my videos or just planning my day, my week, my month. I also like to use it as a second screen while I'm editing my videos on my laptop. Sometimes I get ideas of how I want a video to look like or what shots and titles I want to include, and all of that is in my Notion. So it's just so useful for me to be able to look at this second screen and also be reminded of what to include on my editing. So let me start this off with the display, which I'm so in love with. The graphics is just really amazing, the color accuracy is brilliant, and the brightness to ratio contrast is just... The Liquid Retina XDR is the biggest game changer here, with richer visuals for gaming and media consumption, which is what I mainly use the iPad for, and it was the main factor that influenced my purchasing decisions. Now, I know in my first video I said that I would have preferred the 11-inch iPad Pro because I have a 13-inch laptop, but the mini LED display was only available on the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, so that's why I now have it. And apart from its heaviness, I now actually like the fact that it has more screen real estate than any of the other iPads. And now listen to this. I'm obsessed with the speakers. I got the HomePod Mini to enhance my streaming experience, but honestly, this iPad is great on its own. It has 2 speakers at the top and at the bottom, so when I'm watching something, it feels like I have surround sound. Plus, I really love the fact that I can connect my controller to the iPad, which just makes things so much easier. And I wouldn't want to be holding this heavy thing whilst I'm trying to play games, and overall, it's just a lot more of a fun experience. I love the sidecar display as it's very helpful for me and my workflow, and I love the center stage feature way too much. It's very convenient for when I'm FaceTiming my boyfriend and I want to move around the room or the kitchen to do things. I have to admit that I don't use it as much as I had initially planned to, but we're working on that. And then there's a blooming issue, which I actually didn't see at all until one of you had asked whether I do have the blooming issue, which had forced me to really look into it, and now I cannot unsee it. I have a blooming issue. But actually, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I can only see it when I'm really looking for it, like, you know? And this is probably a me problem, but I thought I would just throw it in there. So in my first video, you probably would have seen that I didn't get the Magic Keyboard, or any keyboard for that matter. And now I realize that I don't like typing on the iPad, but I still cannot justify spending $279 on Magic Keyboard because I don't do that much typing anyway on my iPad, so maybe I'll just get those small Logitech keyboards. They're cute. And lastly but not the leastly, the M1 chip. It is a very incredibly powerful chip, but developers still haven't optimized their games for it, and we still don't have the pro apps to really take advantage of that chip yet. I'm still really hoping that Apple will come through with the Pro apps sometime soon. Last week I had to go to A&E and spend 6 to 7 hours to get my blood test results. Yes, 6 to 7 hours. And I wish that I could have used that time to edit my video on Final Cut Pro on my iPad. Now I know there's apps like LumaFusion, but unfortunately at this moment in time I just do not have the time to figure out new editing software. So overall I really do love my iPad, but I would say that if you have an iPad that is working just fine and you don't have much cash to burn, then don't upgrade. I had the very first iPad that Apple had ever released and I haven't upgraded since then, so I was well overdue an upgrade. For those who are thinking of getting this iPad or contemplating on upgrading, it really depends on what you're going to use it for. If you're an artist or a designer, you might want to get the iPad Pro with the mini LED display since that produces brighter colors. The color accuracy is just insane, and I think that will help you with your color selection when you're designing or making art. And for gamers, I think it'll give you a mind-blowing experience when mobile gaming. But if you're not so bothered about the display or you're on a tight budget, I think the older iPad models with the A12 or A14 chips are great. They are a lot cheaper, and from what I've heard, they still deliver great performance. And right now I don't think it makes sense to purchase this iPad if you are just going to use it for media consumption or you're a student just wanting to take digital notes. I think the iPad Air or older iPad Pro models or even the 8th generation iPad is great for that. Again, this depends on what your course or major is and other things you're going to be using it for. Like if you wanted to get an iPad to replace a computer, then I think you'll be okay with older iPad Pro models. But if you think you're not going to be upgrading even after you finish school, then I would highly suggest you get the iPad Pro with M1 chip, because this is the most future-proof iPad among all the other iPads out there. I hope I've influenced your purchasing decisions in a good way. And if you like this video, then please don't forget to hit that like button and also subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I next put out a video. Until next time. Should maybe take my rings off because it's scratching my baby. 1 second. I have the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, so it's got the Liquid Retina HDR display. It's got the Liquid Retina HDR, the Liquid Retina HDR, the Liquid Retina HDR. It's got the Liquid Retina Why do I keep saying HDR? It's not HDR, it's XDR. Oh, XDR. It's very convenient when I'm on my... And I also love the center stage feature way too much. I didn't get the magic board. Magic board? Magic keyboard.